Hi everybody, it's Friday, yes, and it's been snowing, brilliant. Yeah, I love snow, me. Oh, I think it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful snow. Words fail me for snow. I've got snow up to my kitchen window. Absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, I'm 3 stories up, so it's a bit of a bugger for the people below me, but win some, lose some. So I've been to work today. I've walked 3 miles there and 3 miles back, so that's not too bad. Really cannot understand why this country has to shut down every time it snows. It's absolutely crazy. One little bit of flake on the train tracks or in the airports and that's done. But there you go. What can you do, eh? Yeah, as I said, it's Friday. Yes, brilliant. Hopefully this will be a regular feature on my channel. I'm going to be calling it the Friday Night Comic Book Review. It's called Friday Night Comic Book Review basically because it's about comic books. It's me reviewing a few bits and pieces that I found along the week, and I'm recording it on Friday. Whether you'll be seeing it Saturday morning or Sunday morning is completely oblivious to that, but there you go. Excuse me. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so all I'm going to be doing with these videos, hopefully I should be doing one a week, every Friday, with luck on my side and the ability to get my arse off the sofa and actually do these things. So probably it's got more to do with luck than anything else. I shall be just quickly going through, as quickly as I can, go through things that I've found interesting this week to do with comic books and medias thereof. First we have the Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 2. The trailers are up. If you haven't seen these yet, I shall put a link down below in the description box down there. Absolutely phenomenal series this Batman The Dark Knight Returns movies have been. The first one was just the animation on it was gorgeous, absolutely superb. If you don't know the story of Batman The Dark Knight Returns, where have you been and why haven't you got it? Honestly, it's in trade paperback, but just for those people out there who don't know what it's about, it is the return of Batman. 10 years after Bruce Wayne hangs up the cowl and cape, Gotham City, and to a certain extent the rest of the world, has gone to pot completely. In Gotham City, gangs run riot in the streets. The police department is as corrupt as it ever has been, and people just don't feel safe even in their own homes now. And it's up to Bruce Wayne to yet again pick up the cape and pick up the cowl and put it on, and pick up the batarang and fight crime and injustice wherever he may see it. It was originally a 4-issue miniseries by Frank Miller from DC Comics. It is in trade paperback. If you have not read it, seriously, pick up the trade paperback, because it's one of those comic series where if you're a comic book collector and you haven't read it, you really do need to read The Dark Knight Returns. As for the movie, the first movie, I actually thought The Dark Knight Returns was better than The Dark Knight Rises. Shh, don't tell everyone about that, because I'll be getting death threats and that, and not good. But personally, Dark Knight Rises was a really good movie, and yet there's 2 different mediums, I suppose, in a way, animated and live action. But Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 was just a phenomenal animated movie. If DC could do their live action movies like that, they would have no problem every time going up against Marvel's movies, if you ask me. But there you go. So yeah, Batman The Dark Knight Returns Part 2 comes out on DVD and Blu-ray on January the 29th, which is not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. Not quite sure if that's just in the UK or whether it's just in America, or if it's a worldwide release on that. Definitely worth picking up. And as I said, I'll put a link for that down in the description bar down below, if I can find one anyway. Also, in the medium of moving pictures, we have a return to our TV screens of Arrow, Green Lantern, the animated series, and Young Justice. Arrow, the live action series, has come back onto our screens yet again. I have been pleasantly surprised with this. So pleasantly surprised that I've actually spat all over my computer screen. I was, when I first read the premise of this series, and when I first saw the trailer of it, I thought, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But it has completely changed my whole view watching this series. The trailer definitely didn't do it justice. If you're not watching Arrow because you saw the trailer as I did, seriously, the trailer doesn't do it justice. If you don't know what Arrow's about, it is all about Green Arrow from the comic books. It follows Oliver Queen. He has just come back after being stranded on a desert island for 5 years, and it's him cleaning up his home city of Star City and trying to do right for all the misdeeds and wrongdoings that his father and his family have done. Also, it has John Barrowman in it. If you don't know who he is by name, maybe if I say Captain Jack Harkness, you might know who it is. He plays the possible leader of a shadowy contingency that's running Star City, and yeah, it is really good. They have got characters from the Green Arrow comic book series in it, but they're not necessarily in the same way you would know them. If you haven't watched Arrow, see if you can find any episodes of it anywhere else on the internet or when it comes out on DVD or Blu-ray, because it is worth picking up. Also, we have the animated series, Green Lantern animated series, and Young Justice. Young Justice I'm really enjoying. It's one of those animated series which, sadly enough, it's one of those animated series that I thought was going to be cancelled by DC when it went off air in December last year. I really worried about not being able to see it again, and the actual story not being finished when they said that DC Nation was going on hiatus for a couple of, well, quite a few weeks, about 6 or 7 weeks I think it was, over the Christmas period, and I think it went off air end of November, I think it was mid-November. But it's back on our screens now, and it is one of the best animated series out there at the moment. Green Lantern animated series, not so much so, really. It's a computer animated series, and really, with all of the computer animation you see in computer games, does make me wonder why Green Lantern animated series is so bad looking. It really is bad. Well, I think it's bad anyway. It's one of those ones that I watch because it's on, really, and there's nothing else on at that time to pique my interest. Which brings me to a question for everybody out there: do you know of any comic book related series on TV that isn't The Walking Dead, Arrow, Green Lantern animated series, or Young Justice? I know that I don't know about, basically, that other people might be interested in seeing. I know there is the reality show Comic Book Men, which follows the exploits of Kevin Smith's comic shop in New Jersey, which is called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, and it follows the adventures of the guys in that comic shop. I've been watching episodes of it on the internet and that where I can, and I've found it really funny, really interesting, and I'd love to be on an episode of that, even if it's just walking through a door and going, "Hello, I'm from the UK, hello." Obviously, maybe not that. That might be a bit weird, but yeah. And I also know we've also got King of the Nerds, which is another reality show which Ghost Critic put a link in one of his last videos for the trailer of that, which I've heard extreme mixed reviews on that. Some people have gone, yeah, it's brilliant, it's absolutely fantastic and everybody should watch it, and other people have said it's made their blood boil, and quite frankly, who do these people think they are putting this sort of thing? It demeans geeks and nerds and that, and how dare they do this? I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really say either way what it's like. I wouldn't mind being able to see it. Unfortunately, in the UK, things like that sometimes don't get over here. I'm very lucky with something like Comic Book Men that I every now and then I find sort of like episodes broken down into sort of like 5 or 10 parts that I can watch on YouTube or something like that. So yeah, if you've seen King of the Nerds, what do you think of it? Is it demeaning to geeks and nerds and the like, or is it just good fun? I know that George Takei is on it, who played Mr. Sulu in the original Star Trek episodes. So I can't see him really being in something that would demean people and poke fun of them. Not totally poke fun of them anyway. So yeah, what do you think of King of the Nerds? And as well as that, is there any other comic book based programs out there that you might think I'd be interested in watching? Hopefully there is. I know Marvel Comics are bringing out a couple of animated series, but I'm not quite sure when they're bringing them out. I think there's Incredible Hulk's Agents of Smash, I think, which is going to be a young person's animated series. There's another Avengers cartoon coming out somewhere. And also there's the second series of Ultimate Spider-Man, which I enjoyed the first series of Ultimate Spider-Man. I won't lie to you there. I thought it was really fun. A lot of people have said that they didn't like it for whatever reasons, but there you go. Right. Next, has anybody out there seen the teaser adverts for Uncanny X-Men? It hasn't even been released yet. Issue number 1 hasn't even been released yet. I think that's out next week. But there's already a teaser advert out for Uncanny X-Men, which show Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magic, Magneto, and the new mutants for the Uncanny X-Men. And it also has the ledger on it of one of these X-Men is a traitor. If you haven't seen the picture, I shall put a link in the description box down below, so you can all see it, and you can all say in the comment section down below, or if you want, do a reply video to this video and say who you think could be the traitor in amongst the ranks of the new Uncanny X-Men, and why you think they're going to be a traitor. I have no idea who it could be, but I can't see Scott Summers Cyclops being a traitor to the Uncanny X-Men. He's already in his own eyes a traitor to all the other superheroes in the Marvel universe because of the Avengers versus X-Men Phoenix fiasco that he was part of. I suppose it's possible that Magic could be the traitor. She has been acting very strangely. Even possible still could be that one of the new mutants in the Uncanny X-Men could be a traitor, but who knows? Comment section down below if you want to say who you think it could be after having a look at the advert on the link. New comics this week. There have been a few comics that have actually made me go, wow, what's going to happen there? I don't really want to spoil it for anybody. I'll try not to do any spoilers. If you've read these comics, you'll know what I'm going on about. And again, if you want to make any comments on it or do a reply video, more than welcome to. First, we have Captain America 3. Captain America is trapped in the Dimension Z, or if you're English, Dimension Z, and he's trying to find his way back to Earth. The last page of Captain America number 3. How? What? How did that happen? When did it happen? Why? Where? Who? How? When? What? Where? When? How? Who? Absolutely. I want to read number 4 to see what happens next. and I want to know. I want it to be explained to me in number 4 why Captain America has this thing that's happened on the last page of Captain America 3. If you haven't read it yet, see if you can pick up a copy and see if you can figure out why this has happened. I'll try not to put any spoilers in it, and I really don't want to spoil it for anybody who has got the comic and who hasn't read it. I know it's Friday, I know most people have probably all read it, but there's going to be a few people like me who have to wait for their comics to turn up, either because they have to travel for some way or to go to the local comic shop, or they have to wait for the postman to bring it. And if you're in the UK at the moment, you've got no chance of getting your post with the snow in the moment. So, yeah, so Captain America 3, the last page. Daredevil 22. Again, the last page. Poor Foggy. Matt Murdock, Daredevil's friend, Foggy. He has been through the ringer all these years that he's been Matt Murdock's friend. Poor Foggy has to put up with a lot of stuff. And now, the last page of Daredevil number 22, he has... I can't say because it will spoil it for anybody who hasn't read it. But, you know, Mark Waid, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to Foggy? Also from Marvel, Dark Avengers. If you haven't been reading Dark Avengers, it's one of those series that just plods along quite nicely. And I'm sure a lot of people are buying it. It must be pretty well read, but not a lot of people are reviewing it. It doesn't seem to be a lot of people reviewing it anyway, but last page of Dark Avengers number 185, US Agent is back. Yes, US Agent is back. So there you go. And finally, Batman number 16. Wow, yeah, Batman number 16. It's a good read. It's a very good read. Scott Snyder can't fault him with his writing on Batman. I don't really buy it personally, but that was some last page for Batman number 16. That was definitely a pretty awesome last page for Batman number 16. If you've read these issues and you know what I'm going on about, then please, in the comment section down below, put spoiler on there if you can, so that people will know not to read your comment if they cannot read it. Or if you want to do a video response to this, again, put spoiler in it, and then people know either not to watch the video or to, be very wary to watch it. But yeah, those are the four last page wows that got me this week in comics for this Wednesday. Yeah, Captain America 3, Daredevil 22, Dark Avenger 185, and Batman number 16. Also, this week, it is the week that the comic companies put out their solicitations for 3 months' time. We have DC Comics, Valiant, Marvel, and solicitations for DC Comics, Valiant, Marvel, and Image. All for comics coming out in April. And you have to excuse me. I'm going to have to get my notes here because there's quite a bit. First up, we have me coughing like an idiot. Excuse me. First up, we have from DC Comics in April. Not a lot of new comics coming out from DC. Quite a lot of cancellations. You've got DC Universe Presents number 19 and I, Vampire number 19. Superman Family Adventures number 12 and Saucer Country number 14, all being the last issues. They're all being cancelled. I, Vampire, a lot of people are upset about the fact that I, Vampire is being cancelled. What I don't understand is if there's a lot of people, and there are a lot of people upset that I, Vampire is being cancelled in April. If there's that many people upset that it's being cancelled, why is it being cancelled? I have seen on message boards all over the internet, and I've spoken to people as well, and they're all mortified that I, Vampire is being cancelled in April. They can't understand why. I'm imagining it's because there's not a lot of people are buying iVampire, and maybe the people that I've seen complaining about its cancellation, maybe they're the only people that are buying it. I don't know. But like I said, there is a lot of people that are upset about it. Superman Family Adventures, I know at least of one poor little girl that is extremely upset about it. And quite frankly, Dan Didio, you should be ashamed of yourself. You've made a little girl cry because you've cancelled Superman Family Adventures. Yeah. Yeah. And Saucer Country number 14. Although it was a very good series, I'm not surprised it was cancelled. It's one of those ones that I think was, yeah, one of those comic series and that. But with Saucer Country's cancellation, there is now only 4 ongoing series from DC, the DC imprint Vertigo, being published, and that is Fables, Fairest, Unwritten, and I can't remember the other one. And I'm sure there's loads of people out there shouting out what the fourth one is. But there are only 4 ongoing series from the Vertigo imprint that are being published, and that's worrying to me. That's very worrying to me. Vertigo used to be the mature, sophisticated beacon in DC's comic publishing for every month. With only 4 series being in the DC Vertigo line now, does that mean that this is another step closer for the Vertigo imprint to be cancelled, to be completely disbanded and defunct? And will they put the 4 series that are still going, will they make them into I've noticed comics that would normally be published either by Wildstorm, which would be the licensed products, or possibly could go into Vertigo, as in Steve Niles' Lot 13 miniseries. I've noticed they are under the banner of DC Entertainment. So I'm wondering if DC Comics, in all their veritable wisdom and understanding of what comic book fans want, right, if they are going to disband the Vertigo line and put the 4 ongoing series under the umbrella title of DC Entertainment. Or is this just a lull before DC floods the market with comic books under the Vertigo banner? This could go one of 2 ways. If you've got any thoughts on this, comment down below, or comment video. Fantastic. Valiant Comics in April, we have the beginning of Harbinger War number 1. I have had nothing but praise for Valiant Comics. They are brilliant. In my eyes, Valiant are showing you how a comic company should reboot their universe. Every month they bring out comics that make me want to read the next comic, and that is the main thing. You want to bring out comics that makes the reader go, wow, I want to pick up the next issue. Harbinger War, we see the connection between Bloodshot and the Harbingers. We already know that Bloodshot was used as a search and destroy agent to kill rogue Harbingers years ago, but the Harbinger War elaborates on the whole Bloodshot versus the Harbingers, and we find out more about the history between the 2 characters and the two, the two comics. Marvel Comics for April. Lots of things happening in Marvel for April. First, we have Indestructible Hulk number 6. Mark Waid, he's done it with Daredevil. He's doing it with Indestructible Hulk. Absolutely phenomenal series. And it's going to be even more phenomenal because Walter Simonson is going to be the artist from issue 6 of Indestructible Hulk. Fantastic. absolutely brilliant. Walter Simonson, probably best known for his artwork for Thor in the 80s and that, and I am looking forward to this immensely. I love Walter Simonson's artwork, and I can't wait for issue 6 of Indestructible Hulk to come out in April. We've also got the limited series by Jason Aaron, Thanos Rising. I believe this was supposed to be the mini-series that come out in June, July last year, but then was cancelled a couple of weeks before it was supposed to come out. Excuse me. They're now releasing it as a limited series, and it starts in April, so that could be interesting, just to bump up the Thanos's media hype on him, so that everybody knows who he is for the Avengers 2 movie that comes out in 2015. I think it's 2015. I think that's right. Yeah. Excuse me. Also, we have Age of Ultron, which is barreling along. It's a 10-issue miniseries. There are, as with all these events for Marvel and DC, obviously, you have crossover issues where there are an abundance of them. We have, in April, 3 issues of Age of Ultron, issues 4, 5, and 6. And we also have the one-shot of Ultron #1, which tells us what Ultron's son, Victor Mancha from the Runaways series, what he feels about the whole Age of Ultron and his father taking over the world and killing all the superheroes and whatnot and sundry, and I'm sure everything else that's happening in the miniseries and all the doom and gloom that's going on there. Will you be picking up Age of Ultron? Will you be picking up the crossovers with Age of Ultron, or are you just sick and tired of all of these events that Marvel and DC are having every year? Do you just get the actual mini series, or do you like to get the crossovers and the tie-in issues to go with these event series and that? Let me know. Comment section down below. I'm sure you've all seen the teaser adverts from Marvel, where you have the DNA strand with the 2 X's in the middle. As we all know, 2 X chromosomes is for female genes, and the reason why it's female genes in the teaser trailer is because X-Men #1 is being released on April this year, and it's going to be an all-female group. You have Storm, who looks to be the leader of the group, Rogue's in it as well, plus a plethora of other female X-Men characters. And come on, what fanboy out there doesn't want to have an all-female X-Men comic? Hands up, come on. No, I don't think anybody put their hand up. No, exactly. We all want a whole all-female X-Men comic book, don't we? Exactly. So Marvel's giving it to us. There you go. Aren't they nice? Unlike DC, in April, Marvel have only got 2 comics that they're cancelling, and I don't actually think anybody cares about these 2 comics either. It's Age of Apocalypse #14 and Extreme X-Men #13. Both of them are alternate dimension X-Men groups, and yeah, is anybody out there getting these? Is anybody out there unhappy that Age of Apocalypse or Extreme X-Men are being cancelled in April? Nobody care? Are people going to be writing letters to Marvel saying, how dare you cancel my favourite comic? Or people going to be going, thank goodness those 2 are gone? Yeah, let me know. Comment section below. And finally, we have Image Comics. We all know Image Comics likes to produce a lot of #1s. Every month we get about 5 #1s come out, at least. April is no different. But out of all the #1s that they're bringing out in April, 2 have caught my eye. The first one is by Mark Millar and Frank Quitely, which is Jupiter's Legacy. And it's a series that follows the exploits of the second generation of superheroes that don't really want to be superheroes. And the reason why they don't want to be superheroes is because of something that the first generation of superheroes have done. We don't know what that is, and I'm sure we're going to find out. And with Mark Millar writing this and Frank Whitley with the artwork, I think we're all going to enjoy it. It's Mark Millar's some of his writing can be a bit yeah, especially things like Kick-Ass and Nemesis, where it's just ultra violence, really. Sometimes funny, sometimes it's like, oh, really, can you put that in a comic? Obviously you've got other things that Mark Millar has written. He's a prolific writer, he's a fantastic writer, and Jupiter's Legacy definitely caught my eye from Image Comics in April. Also from Image Comics and Ted McKeever is Miniature Jesus. I thought before I started making this video, how am I going to describe Miniature Jesus to people? And I thought to myself, well, no, I can't. Well, I could always, no, not really. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a link down below for a synopsis on Miniature Jesus and let you decide, because it's one of those things where I think if I try to describe it to you, it's just going to confuse everybody. It's confusing me now, and I'm trying to figure out how to describe it to you. So yeah, those are the comics that caught my eye for the listings in April. Do you know any comics that are coming out in April that I haven't mentioned yet that you're looking forward to picking up? Are there any comics that you know that are coming out that from a comic company that I haven't mentioned yet? Put in the comment section down below or make a video. It'd be fantastic to hear from you. Now, what also I'm going to do, hopefully, when I make these videos, is I'm going to do some reviews on comics that I've recently picked up. Sadly, as I've mentioned before, I don't really get much of a chance to pick up the comics when they come out on Wednesday. Usually, basically because my local comic shop is about 40-50 miles away, and it's about a 2-hour train journey there, and I can only make it once a month. Coupled with that the new comics that I do get, that I can review, I buy them on Wednesday from the internet, and I don't get them at least until Monday the next week. So comics that come out this Wednesday that I'm getting, I won't be getting until next Monday. And that's if the snow hasn't ground the whole country to a halt, which it seems like it's doing. So I am going to review a few comics from last Wednesday. Excuse me. Starting up with Animal Man and Swamp Thing number 16. Oh, what can I say about these two that nobody else has said before? When's it going to stop? No, seriously, when's it going to stop? I mean, they're both really well written. Don't get me wrong. Jeff Lemire and Scott Snyder are doing great work with Animal Man and Swamp Thing. I've I've enjoyed reading the stories and everything, but it has been going on and on and on. Seriously, can we stop it now? Because right, let's do a bit of maths, right? Animal Man 16, Swamp Thing 16. From issue 1 of both of those comics up to now, it has been the road to the Rock World crossover. In fact, it's not even a crossover because they don't actually meet each other in this story, really, except at the very beginning. But yeah, so from issue 1 of the reboot of Animal Man and Swamp Thing, it's been the journey to the Rock World for these two characters. So that's 16 issues a piece. That's 32 issues. Plus the 2 zero issues that happened in September last year brings that up to 34 issues. Plus we have the 2 annuals, which is 36. And then we have the 2 issues of Frankenstein Agent of Shade, which I think was issue 14 and 15. So that's 38 comics. 38 comics to tell the Rock World story. 38 comics. Seriously, can it stop now, please? It's getting a bit tedious. Honestly, I don't know if I've actually put this out on one of these videos, but as of February, when hopefully the Rock World series story arc, and I'm very opposed to using the word arc, because for me a story arc is something that's about 4 or 5 issues long, not 38 issues plus. But the Rock World story will be hopefully finishing in February. After that, along with a few other DC comics that I'm getting, which is the Before Watchmen series of comics that should be finishing in February as well. After that, I have given up on DC. At least the DC Universe part of their comic empire. It just not the same DC it was when I was reading them even a year and a half ago. And quite frankly, personally, there are more better comics out there that I could be spending my money on than what DC's bringing out. I'm still going to get Swamp Thing and Animal Man until the end of Rock World, because I think I've come this far, I might as well finish. And yeah, but so please, can we finish this now, please? Because it's good, but enough, really, seriously. And the only other comic I've picked up last week for the post was Clone #3, and it's complete opposite of Animal Man and Swamp Thing. It's just action packed from issue to issue, and it's only the 3rd issue. This is an ongoing series. It's about a guy who finds out that he could possibly be a clone of somebody else, or is he the original? Is he the number one? There is a shadowy organisation, as there is always shadowy organisations in these things, that are not only after him, but also after his girlfriend and their unborn child. And in this issue, his girlfriend's just going into labour. Is he a clone that has broken his genetic code? Can he reproduce? Or is he the original article, and that's why his girlfriend's got pregnant? Sadly, we don't find that out until issue 4. But this has just been absolutely brilliant. David Shawner and Juan Jose Ripe, R-Y-P, you pronounce it how you want to pronounce it. It's just absolutely brilliant. In fact, Juan Jose Ripe, I'm sure I've seen his artwork in a few Avatar comics. It's very familiar. It looks quite like some stuff I've seen from Avatar. But yeah, if you haven't picked up Clone yet, seriously, it is a really good read. If you're one of those people that like to pick up trade paperbacks, definitely pick up the trade paperback of this. You won't regret it, honest. So yeah, there you go. And lastly, with the reviews, I'm going to try and highlight a series or one shot or mini-series that I've not seen many people review, whether it means that people are reading it but they just haven't reviewed it, or whether it's just one of those comics that are just under the radar for everybody, that not everybody has realised that it's out yet. This one is from Nick Spencer and Riley Rosmo. Nick Spencer we'll know for the creation of Morning Glories, and Riley Rosmo from Rebel Blood. I knew I was going to forget that. Yeah, Rebel Blood, the miniseries that had the zombies in it, but it wasn't human zombies, it was animal zombies. Morning Glories, everybody knows about Morning Glories. If you're not reading it, you've heard about it, and you probably know somebody who's reading it. Rebel Blood was definitely one of those comics that was under the radar. It was good, but not a lot of people were sort of like picking it up, really. This series from Nick Spencer and Riley Rosmer is Bedlam. Number 1 and number 2. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. What would you do if you were a serial killer and you decided you didn't want to be a serial killer anymore? What would you do if you were a sick and twisted individual, crazier than the Joker, more maniacal than Lex Luthor, and more egotistical than Doctor Doom? And one day you just thought to yourself, I've had enough of the killing, I've had enough of the murdering, it's getting boring now, I don't want to do that, I don't want to hurt people, I want to help them. Bedlam answers that question. It follows the once seriously demented serial killer, Madder Red, who terrorised for years, terrorised the city of Bedlam with his anarchic murder sprees that would go on forever. And then he decided that he was going to completely change his life, and instead of terrorising people, he was going to help them in some ways. This shows his almost schizophrenic life now, after he's gone to all the rehabilitation classes, he's taking his medication, he's had all the operations and that on in his brain. He's still a genius that knows all about serial killers and murderers and everything, and he just wants to try and use his intellect and his knowledge on all this stuff to help people now, in between all, of course, the hallucinations and the serious schizophrenic outbursts that he has. I suppose in a way it's sort of like Dexter, where you have a serial killer who goes around killing serial killers, but in this one, the character Madder Red, he's an ex-serial killer, so he doesn't actually go around killing serial killers yet, or as far as you know. At the moment, this is on issue 2. Issue 3 comes out, I can't remember if it's next week or the week after. If you haven't picked this up, I have seen these go on eBay, as with everything from Image Comics. I've seen these go for silly money, absolutely silly money. I was lucky, I picked these up fairly cheaply off of eBay. I was very lucky to pick these up, the price I got on from both of them. If you can find them cheap somewhere, if your local comic book shop has got copies of these, if you pick up this, even if you pick up the second print of these, because they both have second prints out at the moment, I highly recommend getting them. It is really good. The artwork is quite quirky. I've actually likened it quite a bit to Ted McKeevers artwork. It's one of those things, I think it's one of those artworks that if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But don't let that stop you from picking it up. Nick Spencer is just a phenomenal writer, and Riley Rosmo is a brilliant artist, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So yeah, if you haven't picked this up yet, definitely Bedlam is definitely a sleeper that needs to be woken up. Oh, I'll stick them up there. So there we go. I've just got one more thing to do. I've decided I'm going to highlight other people's channels, hopefully new people, or people that you might not know about that might not be new, but I think need to have people look at them. They're going to have at least some kind of tenuous link to comic books, hopefully. I'm going to try and do at least 2 a week. This week, because it's the first episode of this, I'm going to do 4. And you're going to have to excuse me because I'm going to have to use my notes again. First up, we have a mate of mine. He literally lives about 10-15 minute walk away from where I am. He's only just started doing his channel, and already he's got about 30 videos up, but they're not that long. They're not as long as these videos, honestly, I promise you. So definitely well worth looking at. He showcases comics that he's picked up recently, different other comic book related items that he's got. His first video he did was of his Smallville, the Blur jacket that he picked up, which is a pretty good video. And like I said, they don't go on for that long, so definitely well worth watching. And at the moment he's got a competition going on. It's got 3 days to go, so if you want to pop over to his channel, his channel's name is MyButter1, and I'll put a link down below in the description box down there, so you can all go over there and subscribe and just say hello and say I said hello. So if you heard any sort of like strange, that's just my mobile phone going off. Right. Next up we have, I think everybody knows this guy. He's another Englishman, as the English British video. Yes, we're totally taking over the comic book community. Yeah, sorry, where was I? Oh yes. Yeah, you probably all know this guy. He's a great bloke. I've chatted to him a few times, and I absolutely love his videos. And his last video, he actually done his first video to his face to the camera, and I think he should do more videos like that. And that's DrMonkeyBot. I'll try and say that without a strange accent. DrMonkeyBot. Again, his link will be down in the comments, the description section down below. And this next one I just happened to come across. Two very lovely young ladies. They seem to do their videos once a week, and they're doing it on Google Hangout, which is a really good tool to use if you want to make a quick or not so quick in my case video, and it goes out live, and it's a really good way to record videos and put the videos up on YouTube as well. I don't think you have to make the videos live, but anyway, that's by the by. I'm going off tangent here, but these two young ladies, they review trade paperbacks mainly of comics that they've both read, and they go quite in depth with the reviews and that, and how they enjoy it. The channel name is Supervillains Comic Book Club, and again, I'll put the link down below. And yeah, have a look at their videos. They've got quite a few up at the moment. They're really interesting. Got quite some interesting viewpoints on the comics that the trade paperbacks and comics that they read. And yeah, I think it's just great that there are more women out there who are reading comics. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if anybody saw the last episode of Big Bang Theory, where you had the guys go off onto a comic book convention dressed up as the Next Generation people, and then Bernadette, Penny, and Blossom. I can't remember a character's name, but yeah, the one that played Blossom. They decided they wanted to find out what this whole thing was about comic books and that, and so they decided to go to the comic shop and pick up some comics. And yeah, it was funny to see three women who had supposedly never touched a comic book. I know it's TV, but yeah, I know it's not real, but you know, but yeah, I thought it was quite funny to watch these three women who have never touched a comic book to read a comic book, and then what happened after they read the comic book. And yeah, I think it's absolutely brilliant that, and I'm not trying to sound patronising, and I apologise if I do sound patronising, but I just think it is fantastic that there are more women out there that are either coming out of the comic book box and saying, yes, I do read comics and I am a woman, or who are actually picking up comics and reading them either for the first time or going back to them. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Comics should be for everybody, not just for an elite group of people that read them because they've got Amazing Spider-Man #1 and Uncanny X-Men #1 and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Supervillains Comic Book Club is the other YouTube channel that I think you should go to. And finally, not exactly a comic book channel, but there are tenuous fantasy, sci-fi, that sort of thing to go with it. If you've not heard of her before, and you probably haven't yet because I haven't told you her name yet, the person's name is Lindsey Stirling. She's a violinist. Her first album's just come out a couple of months ago, I think it was, or a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember exactly when it came out. But she is a phenomenal violinist, absolutely brilliant, and she has made. She's got quite a few videos up. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but there was one video that she did which was a mix of violining and dubstep, which was just wow. But she's also done violin scores for the Lord of the Rings, for Assassin's Creed 3, and various other computer game theme tunes and and all that stuff, plus other classical tunes and classical music and that for the violin. And it is a really good and really fun channel to watch her playing the violin and jumping about and skipping about, and the energy that she has when she plays the violin. I would find it hard to play a tambourine and jump around and do what she does and that sort of thing. So yeah, Lindsey Stirling, again, comment in the thing down below. And yeah, so there you go. That is the first Friday night comic book review. I think we got through that quite well. Nearly an hour. I nearly finished my drink as well. So yeah, there you go. Hope that was interesting to anybody out there. As always, and as I've said all through this video, if you want to comment on anything that I've said on here, comment section down below. That's what it's there for. If you want to make a video comment, please feel free to make a video comment on any of the subjects or all of the subjects that I've brought up in this video. If you liked the video, if you want me to do more of these, like I said, it's a mixture of luck and me getting off my backside and actually getting up and doing it, which I'm hoping these will get me going, getting off my arse and doing them, because I know I've been quite lax lately of doing my weekly videos. So yeah, if you want to see any more Friday night review videos, then let me know. Comment section down below. If you like this video, if you like the Friday night comic book review, thumbs it up. Thank you very much. Thumbs it up. If you don't like it, as I always say, feel free to thumbs it down. But if you thumbs it down, let me know why you thumbs it down. Don't just thumbs it down and run off like a thing in a oofer with a firecracker up your arse. Tell me why you thumbs it down. Tell me what you don't like about this. Tell me what you don't like about what I said. You know, tell me you don't like my beard. I don't care. I'll shave it off. Pay me enough money, I'll shave it off. Don't worry about that. So yeah, so thank you all for watching. I have to say thank you everybody for subscribing. I've had quite a few new subscribers recently, and I won't be able to name everybody who subscribed to me recently, but thank you everybody who subscribed. I can't thank you enough, really. I'm surprised that I'm actually getting these subscribers actually for what I'm doing on here, as I think a lot of us are, but we're all having fun, and that's the main thing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the comics that you read, and the movies and the TV programs that you watch, and the toys that you look at on your shelves. And as soon as I find the stop button on this, I'll hopefully see you soon. Ta-ta for now.